So what's gonna happen with Han Solo in Star Wars Episode 8?
Spoilers!
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 And a little bit of
spoilers.
What's up, guys? Welcome to On the Level, and we have a lot of questions about what's gonna happen to Han Solo and if he's gonna even end up in Episode 8. And here are the top 5 theories that we found on the interwebs about this exact subject.
And as a bonus, we have a theory of our own, and we'll put that at the end of the video for you to see.
So let's get started with number 5, and that's that Han Solo will live on in memory. And not like our memory, but Kylo Ren's memories. He'll be haunting his dreams, or Rey haunting her dreams.
Yeah.
Or
just showing up in flashbacks and things like that, but you know, it's
but
will they put us through that though?
But either flashbacks or particularly like possibly in dreams and things like that. Kylo Ren is definitely torn between whether he goes light or dark.
Yeah.
So there is the possibility. It'd be really interesting if he gets haunted by Han Solo and by like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Or if he
and Snoke and everybody.
Yeah, if
the whole
just,
movie's
just
his,
a flashback. It's all just his dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
or whatever. I don't think he's gonna show up in any dreams for like Rey or anything like that. I don't think that would make any sense. Or maybe he does to kind of like give her insight as to what she has to do to defeat Kylo if it comes down to that. That's whether or not Kylo ends up. Yeah, that's whether or not Kylo actually ends up being bad, but we don't know for sure that's how it's gonna play out.
He shows up for just as much time as Skywalker did in this movie.
Right, and just like longingly looks at the camera.
Yeah. I've been waiting 30 years.
If it wasn't Luke Skywalker and it wasn't Mark Hamill, the listing of the person in the cast would have been like man number 4.
That would have been funny if that's what they would have done.
They should have done that. That would have been hilarious. I think this one's plausible.
It's entirely plausible.
Yeah, I think that this could happen, and it would make sense, especially
it's very Abrams.
Yeah,
you know,
and especially with the fact that we saw that whole Rey flashback.
Yeah, we've already had a Force flashback.
Yeah, we already had some kind of weird thing like that occur that was like, this is your destiny. This is who you must become.
Don't fight it. So number 4 is Han is alive because he's in future films. And this goes off of IMDb.
This one is fairly simple to explain.
Yes, they show him in credits on IMDb. But IMDb is a little bit like Wikipedia, where it's not exactly known to be completely true. And you can just kind of edit stuff as you please in there. I could make a movie and put myself in a credit that doesn't exist.
Plus, as we all know, things change when it comes to movies. I mean, how many movies have bloopers, deleted scenes?
Yeah.
This person was supposed to be in that movie, but ended up getting their scene cut out, or whatever. I mean, there's so many different things that can happen.
I feel so bad for those people, too. It's like, I'm in this movie.
Yeah. You should have been in this movie.
I got paid to not show up in this movie.
And then there's you're in the movie, but you're not in the credits. That happens.
Yeah.
Which, that sucks. One day I'm gonna see my name in lights. Or I'm gonna do everything that should get my name in lights and see nothing. Up at number 3 is the theory that because Darth Maul survived being cut in half, and this goes on with the whole Clone Wars thing, and half of his body becoming robotic, then there is hope for Han Solo actually surviving what happened to him. And his was just a stabbing.
Yeah.
It wasn't being fully sliced in half.
Just a flesh wound.
And it's later on, so like, technology could have gotten even better and better and better, because I mean, that was prequel time. Like that was right after
So this is taking into account the Star Wars expanded universe, where like Disney's the Clone Wars series, which is now officially considered canon. Darth Maul came back with a lower half that was mechanical. Also, General Grievous. Because one of the things is, well, he's a Jedi and he can use he's a Sith and can use the Force, but General Grievous cannot, and his entire body has pretty much been replaced by cybernetics.
Well, that's the biggest question.
Yeah.
Can Han Solo not have that happen because he's not a Jedi? Because so far, most of the people that have rebuilt themselves have been either a Jedi or a Sith.
Yeah, except in that case.
You know, Darth Vader, Luke having his mechanical arm, you know, like, I mean, Anakin completely rebuilt himself. So it's possible that it can happen, but it's generally been that kind of situation where it's a Jedi or a Sith. But
in the case of General Grievous, but he's also not human, so can that be a thing?
He's a humanoid, and so is Darth Maul. Darth Maul's also not human, but a humanoid.
Exactly.
My only question is the fact that he's like a lizard creature humanoid. Originally, there are a lot of lizards that have regenerative properties. You cut a tail off, the tail grows back, things like that.
Yeah.
So, does that make it so that he can do that? You know, like, okay, if I make my arm this way, the rest of me will be okay because of my regenerative properties.
Yeah. So that's our question to you: is can cybernetics be used in the Star Wars universe, like General Grievous, on like Han Solo and other humans? So number 2 is Leia sensed Han was going to die and had a contingency plan because she can use the Force as well.
Yeah.
So that's something like in Empire, where her and Luke sense each other, and she came back to Cloud City to find him in the port.
Yeah.
And it's plausible?
It's plausible. So one of the things is that you can assume that the only reason she was able to sense Luke and vice versa is because they both have the Force.
Yeah.
So you would have to assume that Han Solo also has the Force if this were to actually occur. But that's not necessarily true because think of how many years it's been. It's been what? It's been over 30 years.
It's been over, yes.
It's been 30 years since Return of the Jedi, and that's something that happened in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
So it's been over 30 years. If you think that Princess Leia hasn't gotten stronger with the Force in 30-something years, you're probably crazy.
Yeah. And it has been shown that other people dying has disturbed the Force to other people. So it doesn't necessarily have to be other Jedi that are dying.
Yoda was able to feel how many people have died. When Alderaan was destroyed.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, an entire planet of people.
There's like one Jedi on there, and that's what he felt.
Yeah, and he felt the thousands or millions of people that had died in that situation.
Exactly.
So it's very, very possible, and it would be really cool if she had a plan. If she was
really cool,
because she cares about him. So it'd be cool if she was just like, look, we're gonna, and she's got a whole like rebel Republic army. At her disposal. Disposable? That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
I would like to think that
she saw ahead of it. And she didn't react very negatively. She was just like, I know. It was a surprisingly underacted scene.
Right.
Not in a bad way. Not saying underacting, but in like, it's like...
Understated.
There we go. I found the right word. Thanks for telling me.
You're welcome. Another nice thing is that would actually be a good romance and a well played out romance, which the Star Wars original trilogy was good at doing, and the prequels kind of struggled when it comes to romance.
Right. The pair.
Yeah, by making a pair float around and saying things like, "Gosh, you're beautiful," standing there in the moonlight. How many moons are on this planet? I only look this way because I'm so in love with you and your beauty. I know everyone in the theater right now is wishing there was more lightsabers and blasters going on, but I just had to say, Padme, that you look really good. And number 1 is our favorite of the fan theories and probably the most plausible, and that's the fact that Luke pretty much survived the exact same scenario that happened in this whole situation. I mean, he survived it.
And a big part of Star Wars is the whole mirroring effect.
So let's kind of go through it for a second. They were both on a rickety platform over a cavernous gap, or what do you call it?
Sure.
Cavernous gap?
Yeah.
He gets stabbed. Luke gets hand cut off. Both fall. Are they dead? In the situation of Luke, no. He landed on the thing, and then Luke and then Leia went and saved.
But he was also the main character we were following, which is why we followed him down there.
So it's very possible that he's alive. We just didn't see it because
we weren't following him.
We weren't shown that.
Yeah.
We were following
Rey.
Yeah.
And Chewie's reaction, which was awesome.
And Chewie's reaction was just absolutely amazing. I actually loved a lot of the anger reactions that happened in the movie. Kylo getting pissed off and just slicing up everything.
They weren't just cast because they could be angry.
Yeah.
Like in the prequels.
Like Hayden Christensen. You're good at being angry. The rest of it you're terrible at.
Let's give you a love scene.
Yeah, let's give you a love scene. This theory and the theory prior... 1 and 2 can actually happen at the same time.
Yeah.
So if Leia had a contingency plan for what was going to happen, and what happened to him is the same thing that happened to Luke, then it's very possible that she sensed him and saved him in the exact same way that Luke was saved.
1, 2, and 3 could all go together.
You're right. 1, 2, and 3 could all go together.
One super theory.
Boom! And that brings us to our bonus theory, which is basically our theory. Why don't you let them know what's going on?
So our theory is kind of based off of older theories where Han is actually Force sensitive and can actually use the Force, going back to like him being able to drive the asteroid field and just being a good pilot and just generally being lucky. And in Star
Greedo
Wars
missing him somehow.
Exactly.
Like, and him not even flinching, it just going past his head.
Yeah.
You know, the theory goes in that not only is he Force sensitive, but he's Force sensitive and doesn't even know it.
Yeah, there's no such thing as luck in the Star Wars universe, technically.
Exactly. So, because of that, it's very possible that he'll return as a Force ghost, revealing to us finally whether or not he actually is Force sensitive.
Yes.
Sith don't return as Force sensitive.
No, it's the light side.
It's the light side that does.
And he sacrificed himself.
Right. So by him sacrificing himself, it's very possible that that can happen. In the same way that, you know, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Darth Vader was finally, you know, got his redemption and was like, this is, you know, I want to see my son.
Yeah.
I saved my son and I did the right thing finally, and therefore he was able to come back as a Force ghost.
And therefore haunting Kylo in his dreams is validating Theory 5.
But a big thing it would explain too is that Kylo Ren is insanely strong.
Yeah.
And insanely powerful.
So
really early, like he's young. And why is he so strong that young?
Because both of them.
Yeah, because maybe both of them, maybe Han and Leia, both have the Force.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, yes, Rey was really strong too, and she was able to defeat Kylo in that lightsaber battle, but he was injured.
Yeah. And Luke was also a really powerful Jedi just in and of himself because he was trained and managed to work the Force better than Leia did.
So if you want to see more Star Wars fan theories, questions, assessments, reviews, etc., click there and there to see some more videos that we have. Also, thank you very much for liking, commenting, and sharing with your friends.
Yes, and also hit that subscribe button right down here so you can stay up to date with us. And until we see you guys next time, geek out and game on.
It's like trying not to buy M&Ms when you're at the checkout line. You know you want them. They're right there. And you also need batteries and dental floss. Why do they put batteries and dental floss like right next to each other?
Right? Or Toblerones.
Toblerones, batteries.
It's the only time you'll ever
floss.
think about buying a Toblerone.
Yeah, unless you work for Toblerone. Because they got connections. They get the good discount.